Welcome, future Travis pickers of America, to this third tutorial and homework assignment on beginning Travis picking. No excuses, but I've had a pretty busy week. I became a grandparent Thursday. Zelda, Maxine, she's a sweetie pie. Maybe I'll post pictures later. Anyway, I thought for this third tutorial we would talk about how I came to develop this color-coded scheme to try to help people learn how to play this pattern. Now, we already discussed the hand positioning with the thumbs up, getting that thumb out ahead of the fingers. You don't want the fingers ahead of the thumb. Get that thumbs up and assign the first finger, the index finger, over the B string, the second string, and the third finger over the high E string, because that's the fingers that need to be there and available to pick this pattern. Anyway, in the beginning I used to teach this, for example, on a D chord. The alternating bass note would be the fourth and the third string. We're starting with this 4-string pattern because it's easier. And then what we would do, we'd add the index finger get that going, and then we'd add the middle finger, and that seemed hard for people. It was hard for me. So the way I chose to do it is with this color-coded scheme, where we create a pinch and making sure we include the bass note of the chord, which in this case is the open D string, the fourth string, and plucking the high E string at the same time, the pinch in green, and then working those 4 high strings, first the middle pair with the thumb and the index finger, and the outer pair with the thumb and the middle finger, and then concluding the measure with the thumb on the G string. That's the pattern. Pinch, inners, outers, G string. And I felt this was just easier for beginning students to grasp this concept, this color-coded scheme. So that's why we're doing it this way. Then the other thing you have to learn is when you're doing a chord that has the bass note on the 5th string, like this C chord, the same thing applies. Pluck the bass note, the 5th string, and the high E string at the same time, and then work the inner pair of the 4 high strings with the thumb and the index finger, and then the thumb and the middle finger on the outer pair, and completed with the thumb on the G string. So just a reminder, these 4 high strings are the strings that this particular picking pattern revolves around. On an E minor chord, that's a 6-string pattern because you have to include the 6th string. But then once you pluck the bass note and the high E string at the same time on that pinch in green, then the pattern remains the same on these 4 high strings. The inners with the thumb and the index finger, the outer with the thumb and the middle finger. Remember, your fingers are there ready to do this based on how we assign them. Now eventually we can add, instead of ending the measure with the thumb on the G string, we can add another index finger there and keep it going and add another 7th kind of note. D major chord, open D major chord with the fourth string, the open D string, as the first bass note, and this G string being the second bass note. Now adding the index finger. Now adding the middle finger. The color-coded pinch method on an open D chord. And then remember, we talked about learning how to do this with the pinch on downbeat 1 and without the pinch. So here's with the pinch. Here's without. Sorry. This is hard to do slow once you learn how to do it. I'm hoping soon that you'll find yourself in that same position where it's hard to do this slow. But you have to do it slow in the beginning. But then once you assign this pattern to muscle memory and you start increasing your speed, eventually you may want to add another note at the end. Instead of that G string ending every measure, you can add one extra note. And then eventually we're going to want to learn how to run this into like occupying 2 complete measures instead of an individual pattern like this twice. You can keep it going for 2 full measures before the pinch on the next one. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 5, 6. Keep it going forever if you want to. Remember, we mentioned that sometimes while you're singing, perhaps, you don't want to necessarily play the full measure. You might just want to play the bass notes. Or just part of the whole measure. With the pinch, without the pinch, without. All right, well, I think we've given you enough stuff to cover for this third tutorial. Work on this stuff. We'll post the next review and homework assignment. Ooh, that reminds me, homework assignment. Continue practicing those chords for the song Caravan of Fools. I'm going to put a card up there to take you to that tutorial on how to play Caravan of Fools. It'll be a very easy song for you guys to start out with. It only has those 3 chords, and it's played in the same sequence for the intro, the verse, the chorus, the instrumental interlude, the last chorus, and the outro. It's all played with those same chords in the same sequence 10 times. Check out that tutorial. See you next time.